protests, riots, and panic. This is Greece on the brink.
Ουσιαστικά από το τέλος του 8 ξεκίνησε, μέχρι σήμερα μπορεί να έχει αγγίξει και το 85%.
Greece's downfall has been painful to watch, but many questions lay behind it. First and foremost, how did it happen? The modern crisis started in 2007, a time when most of the world lay in economic trouble. At the onset of the crisis, though, in 2008, there were around 200,000 unemployed in Greece. But by the middle of 2012, that number was well over 1.2 million people. Life in Greece has certainly gotten harder since then. A recent economic crisis, coupled with the surge in unemployment, has given Greeks a hard look at real life. So who's to blame? The banks could be certainly to blame. They were responsible for some of the loans and the bailouts. But Greece Finance Minister Yanis Varoufakis claims that this is truly false.
You have to understand that there is a profound difference between what happened in Cyprus, let's say, in 2013 and what's happening here. This is not a banking crisis. It's not that the banks are the problem. According to the ECB and to the SSM, the banks were perfectly capitalized. There was no problem with them.
While Varoufakis may have a point, there's no hiding that Greece is in the middle of its worst crisis ever. So expansive that one journalist put it, it's compared to the Second World War. The government has been constantly meeting to discuss a possible solution to the crisis. But unfortunately for the people of Greece, the solutions just seem more ludicrous than the next. Among them, an electric meter tax, budget cuts, and of course, bailouts. Other areas such as Athens, however, have been so adversely affected by the crisis that the growing anger from the patrons has caused full-blown violence against police. These riots are costing more money, and they're scarring the city as well. Not to mention, they're heaping onto the already growing problems. Food lines are growing larger, like this one also in Athens, and unemployed are rushing there to get their meals every day. But one patron says it's not enough. Because of the crisis, much of the population of Greece is suffering from severe material deprivation, especially the unemployed. This basically means they're turning to non-governmental organizations to have meals every day. And long lines like these outside of banks are becoming more the norm, as citizens become more cash-strapped by the day. The government has tried to step in numerous times, but for this citizen, it's not enough.
This woman told us, I finished my architecture studies a year ago. I've sent out over 100 CVs. I've only had a couple of job interviews. Now I work as a part-time photographer, taking pictures at nightclubs and bars for €240 a month.
In spite of all the negativity surrounding Greece, they have learned one Catholic social teaching principle the hard way. The principle of the dignity of work and the rights of workers, which is basically the economy must serve the people and not the other way around. Speaking on the subject matter, I was able to track down Unite Here Local 5, a union that defends workers' rights for hotel workers and airport workers in a union. I was able to speak with communications manager Paulo Robles.
One of the first big things is just raising awareness. Like a lot of youth and just a lot of people in general don't realize that these are even problems that are happening. So just staying informed and like raising awareness is one thing. I really do wish we could build more political power, and the way that happens is we just, more and more of our members as well as the community have to really hold our politicians accountable. And I think a lot of people in the community think that they have all the power, when the truth is we have the power because we choose whether they get elected or they don't get elected.
No matter what Greece does in the future, however, there's only one thing that we know. It has a long road back.
And this is why you're seeing now, for example, there have been strikes because the government is under pressure to try and cut back pensions, save around $2 billion or so, I think.
The controversy is about raising taxes and about compromising pensions.
Working class people are called to pay of what some people have been stealing so many years. And of course this creates deep inside a feeling of lack of justice in this country.